Graham Mertz played well, did everything that you want out of him, didn't turn the ball over. Again, I know we talked about some deeper passes, some deeper threats. And again, you lose Trey Wilson in the first quarter, so you don't know if that plays into it a little bit more. Still doing a lot of east-west stuff, but the Gators were able to move the ball against Tennessee throughout. We talked about Trevor Etienne, Montrell Johnson, scored a touchdown as well, I believe. But talk to us a little bit about the offense.
I love I know some people complaining about the motions that we do a lot of that motion, but Eugene Wilson, after getting him those 5 touches early, you got to pay attention to whenever he's moving. He's the type of guy where every defense is going to have a how do I stop Trey Wilson, or we got to watch this guy. And I like that Billy got the ball into the playmaker's hand. That's been one of my criticisms. Like you said earlier, going with the high hand. Love how we got Eugene just popping, not just jet sweeps, but he caught some clutch passes as well in the passing scheme. I'm glad that he's still healthy and we'll get him back. But that movement pre-snap, a lot of that movement that people saying is like a window dressing had Tennessee's defense confused. They was talking, while we were snapping the ball a lot, while we were motioning, they was trying to figure out assignments a lot. So I like the confusion that we're starting to give defenses. But my overall thing is just going vertical a little bit more. We was able to run the ball with like 10 in the box. Like they had that ball. I'm watching it in the game. I'm sitting with Cam. Shout out to Cam Costin, who's in our chat right now in the comments. I'm sitting beside him and with my guy Justin, and the entire time Cam just screaming, "Put him in the dirt!" Like he may have said that shit like 30 times, like a minute. Yeah. Dan, like he's just on repeat.
No surprise. No surprise.
I went to sleep hearing "Put him in the dirt," and I woke up hearing "Put him in the dirt," bro. It's like he had it ringing off in my head like a terrible single. But the box was loaded, and Trevor Etienne was breaking big runs. We were running down their throat, knowing that they was daring us to throw the ball deep. And I'm tired of people daring us to throw the ball deep. Like throw that joint deep. We got some guys that can run. I know Mazzell is young; he's not getting a lot of reps. Well, but we got some fast playmakers. I just want to see us take some deep threats. I think Billy harped on a little bit of the same stuff. We can't take our foot off the gas either. But overall, solid performance in the first half.
Yeah, no, I think, Billy Napier said it, that they went a little bit too conservative probably in the second half. I don't know if it's too conservative. I think that's just who he is, right? You can call it conservative. You can call it not conservative. That's just who he is. I'd like to see a step on the throat, especially in a rivalry game. We had all the momentum going into the third quarter. First off, let me say one thing. I know that this is a complete sidebar here. These games move so damn slow now, Silk. Between the running clock and then the same amount of commercials, I'm like, dude, I feel like we watched like 4 minutes of football and then watched like 17 minutes of commercials before we even get to that 10-minute mark. But regardless, I would like us to throw the ball a little bit deeper. The guys were getting open. I don't know if it's a comfort factor. I don't know if they just know what they can do, in these short, intermediate passes. It kind of seems like the opposite of what we did last year. We couldn't hit the shorter intermediate pass, but we could hit the long ball. I would like us to try it out once or twice. But, again, maybe you didn't need to do it against Tennessee. You get the lead pretty early on in the game. You build enough lead. But I do want to put I want to put some big points up. I want a statement victory. This, in my opinion, is Billy Napier's probably best win. I mean, maybe the Utah game last year, I don't really count that, but this is his first rivalry win. This is his first one where a lot of people were doubting him. A lot of people were saying that he should get fired. A lot of people were expecting Tennessee to win. I mean, if you look at the comment section from last year's video, all the Tennessee fans found that they had them winning 40-13 and 40-20 and all this other stuff. So I want to give the Swamp, I know we're bouncing all over here. I want to give the Swamp credit, dude. I think that they caused at least 3 timeouts. They caused multiple false starts and penalties. The Swamp was absolutely rocking on Saturday night. There's a question here. It says, Dan, we love Etienne. Why is he running so much better than Johnson? Quicker vision. I'm not exactly sure. Montrell did not seem to have the same burst or the same cut that he had maybe last season. I don't know if there's something lingering there. Or if it just could be Trevor Etienne has just made a huge jump this year, right? Another, off season in the system. Go ahead.
I think he's a step faster to the hole than Montrell. But a lot of these is going to be style matchups. You know, it's like a boxer. Like certain defenses is going to be easier for Montreal, Etienne. They'll have, but overall, Etienne's a more talented back. Just to keep it a bean. Montreal. I hope Montreal has the year he just keep this type of year going, and we get him back next year. I was scared that he's gonna go crazy, and then we possibly lose him. We still may lose him because running back shelf life is a little different. But I don't think Montreal is taking a step back at all. I just think Trevor Etienne is just locked into a different echelon right now. His patience, vision, balance, everything. And he comes from a different pedigree. He works with he's been working with pros for a minute because of his brother, but no slight to Montreal. Montreal's having a good season. In the past game, like I said, that catch he caught from in the cutback he made, which is solid stuff, bro.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Let's see here. Receiving in the game again, they go for 166 yards, average just under 9 yards per reception. Do get a touchdown there. I want to give the offensive line credit as well. I thought that they played well in this game. Obviously a lot of people are talking about the Micah Mazuka square up at the end of the game. Guy looked like a professional boxer out there. He had his good hand movements, blocking his face, throwing a jab out there.
He do this.
But especially on run plays, I thought that the offensive line did play well. The defense or the in passing downs, they were a little hot and cold, kind of depending on which play. Richie Leonard, I thought, played really well in this game. Najee Harris played well, and then again, Micah Mazuka played pretty well. Austin Barber kind of rounding out that group. I think Kingsley getting back into things. I think that the Gators had some weird snapping issues in the first half of the game. The ball wasn't going to where it probably should go. It was down. It was just, there was a lot of things that you could see were going on. They seemed to fix some of those in the second half. You didn't see a ton, obviously plays in the second half of the game, but you get him back for another week and hopefully that area improves a little bit for him. But again, a good offensive show out against Tennessee.
Already. And I do want to, hey, Joe, you in the comments, hit us up, man, for that tailgate. We down to just slide through. If you want to host us, we're definitely going to pull up, man. The first play of the second quarter, we had a deep ball we were going to hit on. If you go back to that moment, I think Graham got sacked on that one, but if he gets another second or two, we're going to hit a deep cross in there that goes for 6, like 100%. And it was just a little bit more protection. The offensive line it's night and day from game one. We ran the ball 10 times versus Utah. That was a glaring thing. I didn't think it was going to be our identity going forward. Like, we got to be able to run the ball, especially with two of the best backs in the country, in my opinion. I didn't think that was a normal trait, and it could have been because Kingsley was out, but the offensive line just wasn't clicking like it was. Utah right now is looking like, a one-off game, bro. I'll take that scratch right now. But looking at the team that played Tennessee, we should have won game 1.
Yeah. No, I think that you're exactly right. But looking back here, just looking through the list of players, just not a lot of bad performances. Just looking at the way Pro Football Focus ranks things, not a lot that can be said. I still think that there's an opportunity to use the tight ends a little bit more in this game, in this offense. Maybe we start to see them play a little bit more. Arliss Boardingham played a bit more this game than he's done, this season as well. You're starting to see this offense kind of figure out what it's going to be, and they've had to do different things this season, and I'm curious to see how they continue to grow and move. But this Montrell Johnson, Trevor Etienne backfield is going to be very, very hard to block against. And if Graham Mertz can keep throwing at a 70% or higher clip throughout the entire year, then not only is Graham Mertz better than most people anticipated, now you have to start looking at him. Remember a few weeks ago when they ranked him as the 14th best quarterback in the SEC, and we all said that was nuts.
Goofiness.
There was
all that off-season stuff is just goofiness, bro. Like, you're taking – this is like not being like aware of like what college football is. If you're taking these guys and being too hard on them in the transfer portal, like, you're just not being realistic. We watching too many transfer quarterbacks get into new situations, new atmospheres with new development, and they're changing. They're getting better. So I was optimistic, and like I told you, I was really bored this offseason, but I went and watched every Graham Mertz game, and I kept saying, like, this kid is not a bad quarterback. I don't know what everybody's looking at, but I thought he was very capable. I thought Wisconsin offense was just terrible, but, like, there's no way you can look at the landscape and have those thoughts, man. It was just, you know, a lot of pure ignorance, I would say. But the kid is hooping. He's just not the same kid. Shout out to Billy Napier. I know his track record. He's a young coach, so his track record with quarterbacks isn't very extensive. So like a lot of the takes of, oh, he couldn't win with AR and he's a top 5 draft pick, you know, the narrative switch depending on how like a rival or the media want to spin it. But you take that take, but in all actuality, he took on AR, a kid that didn't play quarterback for a very long time, came from a losing program in high school, not a lot of collegiate starts. Not a guy you brought in, you know, he's talented, but it doesn't really fit your scheme or what you want at quarterback. But you get this kid drafted top 5 to the NFL, you know, there's still some criticism of, like, well, shit, if you got him top 5, then he's a terrible coach. Okay, you bring in a quarterback who all media called him trash, all the fans, every rivalry, they just dragged this kid through the mud all year saying he was nothing. He was, you know, washed goods. You bring this kid in from Wisconsin, and he's looking more than capable. He's at 75% passing. You know, he's moving the chain. He's a leader. He's just not looking like anything. Like the coaching and development at the position, you got to give these guys the flowers. We want to go vertical more, but you can see the obvious development from Wisconsin to the UF, O'Hara, Billy Napier. I'm just going to give up the props, man. Like, everybody was doubting Mertz, and y'all got him looking very capable out here. Flowers.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. It is Greg Pace that says ESPN is Graham Mertz, the number 3 SEC quarterback after week 3. And